So Bitcoin's about money, and money gets used. So I want people to start realizing peer-to-peer is cash. Peer-to-peer is people. Peer-to-peer is all this stuff that we've been thinking about there that I've talked about time and time again. It's really something that should be simple. Signatures require a name. You don't need to give everyone your name. This is the difference with Bitcoin. If I transact with another person, I get their name, but I don't need to share it. That's what privacy is about. And if you did something really naughty and the other person knows you did really naughty things, stiff, that's your problem. I mean, really, if you're going to do naughty things with someone, then this is reality. You can't trust criminals, so don't do deals with them. Thank you.
A big round of applause for Satoshi Nakamoto. Yeah, stand up. He deserves this moment. All right, Craig, I'm going to keep you up here as we close the day. Did that feel good to get off your chest?
Me? Would I have a rant?
Never, 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 never. Now that we have gone through successfully the Genesis hard fork, and Steve and the Bitcoin BSV node team have done an amazing job in delivering back most of your original protocol, how are you feeling now?
Good. We've got to scale more, though. I mean, we've got much more to do. We've got bigger things. We're not right where we were. We are now where we can basically say you can build on Bitcoin as I envisioned and know that 3 years from now, it'll be the same.
Yeah. So this has been a long journey for you and your family. It's been difficult. You've been the subject of hackings, personal attacks. BSV's had its own difficult journey. Crazy hash war with some unfair dealings on the other side, delistings by exchanges. Yet we're here. Yet we're here, and this is an amazing, exceptionally overly crowded and full room of people.
Thank you.
What would you like to say to them for believing?
Thank you. I mean, very simply, I don't see my vision as being something that are so out there. I don't see my vision as being something to topple governments or take down the earth or create anarchy, destroy things. I want a system that does none of that. I don't care whether people don't like the state and they get pissed off with it because they spend a bit of time dropping the soap. At the end of the day, I want people to really understand. If you have kids, you want them to be safe. You want them to be free. And this whole idea that if everything's recorded, then governments will crack down. They won't, because private information remains private. The ledger records movement. It doesn't record the individuals. Each of you record the individuals. Who you bought that Bitcoin from, you keep it. Why? Because you want your record. But that doesn't mean the government can go out to everyone. Imagine here in Britain, the government trying to go to 50 million people and get them to forcibly hand over records. Not going to happen. But when you find a drug dealer, when you find a terrorist, when you find someone else, you have a tracing ability to follow them. It's asymmetric. It allows people basically to economically target malfeasance. Malfeasance is bad. Crime is bad. This whole religion of it's a market, it must be good, is wrong. Some markets are good, not all. Slavery was a market. Drugs are a market. Sex crime is a market. Being a market does not mean everything's okay. Enron was a market. I don't want this whole anything goes world. I don't want the people who should be at the top to get away. There's this tribal theory where the alphas are allowed more. We don't care about certain people in society getting paid more. We care about assholes at the top of certain banks who should be the alphas, taking the money and not doing what an alpha is supposed to do. An alpha takes responsibility. The CEO of a company is meant to take responsibility. When a bank goes down, you don't give them a $60 million bonus. You have them fucking fall on their own damn sword and take responsibility.
Just a couple more questions before we wrap up. It has been a long and difficult journey, I know, for you. And your wife and one of your sons, I believe, is in the audience. Hiding, yeah. Now that we're here, finally, with a new dawn of Bitcoin, what would you say to them?
I'm sorry, honey, it's not me on Grindr. I know all you core guys like setting me up and cause me problems, but I am married, and I'm happily married, and I know you want to get me a relationship and all that, but you don't need to.
That was deep, Craig, real deep. I'm sure you're going to have a wonderful night with your wife tonight. He constantly surprises me. And finally, since we're wrapping up day one, and tomorrow we're really focused a lot on the future, what would you say to the people who want to build on your glorious blockchain, on your network? What are you looking for from them?
More. One word, more. I want you to create something that I would never envision. I want you to create something that anyone out there will tell you is not possible. Something that might take millionths of a cent over channels that close for a cent every now and again that seemed impossible just a few years ago. Ideas that no one ever thought of. And I want you to build it.
One last question before we wrap up. We're going to have an in-depth conversation tomorrow with him and you, but I know one person you hold in exceptionally high regard, and that's a very short list for you, I know. George Gilder is here in the front row, and he'll be speaking tomorrow. And yes, round of applause for George Gilder. Stand up, George. Hey, George, come on up. Come up, George. Come say hi. We're going to talk with you tomorrow, and we're going to hear your speech. How did he inspire you?
So, I was actually actively involved in both the early days of ISPs and internet, and then with the stock exchange. And with the stock exchange, we built the Nippon network, which was effectively a peer broker network on a mutual. The stock exchange was still a mutualized organization back then. And everyone was, a few people like Jeff Olson, who was in charge and things like that, actually believed in the vision, and others did. And we built a network that many people said was not possible, because as all this trading explodes around the world and electronic trading happens, there will be no way that a distributed network will ever have enough bandwidth. And then we had guys like this one writing about bandwidth and what's going to happen and exponential growth. And we started thinking about it, and you start doubling. And you got this chessboard bit where, remember, the guy who invented chess, apocryphally at least, put one little grain of rice and wanted to be paid 2 and then 4 and whatever else until he got his head cut off because he was a smartass.
Right. One quick
You're
question.
moving us to the second half of the chessboard.
Yay.
Exactly.
All right, we're going to hear from George. All right. Anything you want to say, George, quickly before we wrap up? We'll talk tomorrow, but.
I think
Okay.
we're moving to the second half of the chessboard, getting these exponential processes going and solving Ponzi money and solving broken internet, porous pyramid where all the money and power rises to the top where it gets hacked. And we want to stop the hacking of global money by central banks. We want to stop the constant hacking of internet data. And we want to open new horizons of opportunity for the world economy. And I think Craig is making a unique contribution to this. Thank you.
All right. With that, Craig, before you step off the stage, our team put together a video that summarized a lot of the last year that I'd like to play, and we will end the day and look forward to a new dawn, day 2, tomorrow. Video, do you have that up for us, please?
Did you create Bitcoin?
Yes. When I invented Bitcoin, the whole idea was about micropayments. It's about a system that enables commercial internet use. It was never a store of gold.
And I call what I'm about to tell you truth and consequences. This is the truth and the consequences for the Bitcoin Cash community of what's happening in this hash rate.
I think it's good that we've got all the people that believe the economic model that Bitcoin was born as an adult with is one that can massively scale.
Bitcoin SV's journey has just begun, so this came at a critical time.
And within the SV world, people deeply appreciate stability.
I've got pretty thick skin. I'm pretty protective of my team.
It's time to build.
What I want is for you to build something better. I don't want you to build my system. I want you to build yours.
Thank you, Craig. It's time for cocktails and enjoy the start of a new dawn. We'll see you tomorrow.